right. Well, thank you so much for being on today's call. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Milo Acosta, and I am over North America. So right now, I'm kind of stepping in right now to kind of help Liesel with this call. Unfortunately, she wasn't feeling very well today, so she asked me to kind of help out. And yeah, guys, we just came out of Mower Mountain. I'm sure that you saw a little clip on the video. Marketing is working on doing the recap and posting it. We had a great event. It was amazing. People were so excited that we launched products, systems. Anyway, it was amazing just to see everybody super motivated, with full of energy and excitement for the new things that we brought as a company. And we are very excited for what's coming here in the next couple of months and the rest of this year. But right now we're going to have Tom Jr. with us, that he's going to be actually talking a little more in depth on what happened in Mower Mountain. He's going to talk a little about the programs, going to give you a little recap on how Mower Mountain went. So Tom, if you're on the call, just hit unmute, please. And you should.
I'm unmuted. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Loud and clear.
Great. And thanks for having me today. You're stuck with me today, and I'm thrilled to be on the call. And Milo's running my AV, and maybe that's why I had a hard time getting on. I don't know, but I don't care. Today, I wanted to take a few minutes and kind of have a Mower Mountain wrap up. We've gone through the pandemic. We've been boarded up in our houses. We've had supply chain issues, and I wanted to go through some major points and some programs that we've launched over the last couple of weeks. I want to talk about some new products that we've launched that I think a lot of people will be very excited about. But I want to talk a little bit about the state of Sisel as we continue to grow. I wanted to show you a little bit about, what transpired during the pandemic and what has, what the trending's been and where we're going. And so thrilled to be here. This is one of our biggest weekends in America. We have our Independence holiday, this 3-day weekend. And so, but before I get started, this is a real celebration for me to be on the Australian call and congratulate each of you for surviving the last couple of years and for being part of Sisel and the dynamic mission that we started quite a few decades ago. And so I'll have Milo run my PowerPoint as I talk about it. Let's get started, Milo, with that. And first, I want to talk about the state of Sisel and what's happened. And so with that, we went through Mower Mountain, and we had about 260 Amish and some non-Amish people that came here. It was a hard time because travel is just opening up, and people had a hard time coming out here. And if you know anything about the Amish, they travel by walking, by horses, or getting rides from others. So they came by trains, they hired buses, they hired drivers, and came out here, and they're really on fire and really living the Mower mission in so many ways. And the blessing to them is they're creating dynamic businesses. And so first, let me tell you a little bit about the state of Sisel. Let's go to the next slide. So one thing about it, I thought that you would find interesting. These are you hear the old rule, 80% of your sales, 80% of your success is found within 20% of products or 20% of your active distributors. And so this is kind of an interesting slide. You can see what the majority of people are purchasing. And one thing I found quite interesting, I have for the last few years, we started out with the Mower mission all in personal care products. It was about shampoos and lotions and making products safer for people. And, then we moved into nutritional, realizing there are deficiencies in nutrition, but realizing there's dynamic power in nutrition. that we can live longer, we can live healthier. We can not just take care of the symptoms, but we can take care of a lot of the problems through powerful nutrition. But as you look through these products, obviously you see everything from fucoidan being number one, which we have the patent on making the most bioavailable fucoidan. And in Australia, there's probably some of the most dynamic research coming out of Tasmania. And even to where, unfortunately, there's been a big push to try and make it a pharmaceutical. But the real excitement about that type of energy going into fucoidan, it means it works. And we know that as we get on the computer and we compare against the mangosteens, the acais, the nonis, all of the super fruit juices that have come out, one thing we see is that where there might be a smattering, a sprinkle of some scientific interest in these others, we have seen since we became involved and patented the most bioavailable form of fucoidan, what we have found is that now there are thousands of researchers investigating and putting their time and their money and their energies into finding out why fucoidan is so powerful, meaning that it's adaptogenic. Why does it have such a positive effect on cholesterol? Why do people in Okinawa who consume the largest amount of brown seaweed anywhere in the world have over 450 people over the age of 100? And then all of the demographic studies that I'm sure you've looked at, realizing that the same people can change their diet and remove fucoidan, and then what happens? They go back to the national average of the diet, what they live in. But when they consume, guess what? Life's better, health's better, longevity's better, because it is so broad spectrum in so many ways. But as you look through these products, I mean, you do see Eternity and Spectre Max and other things that also are very vital to longevity. But we see a lot of other powerful nutritional substances. Encompass 360, the most broad spectrum vitamin mineral complex out there. That's why it's called 360, because it's 360 degrees for nutrition to fill in the voids. No matter where you're at in the world, you're deficient in something with a normal diet. And but what you're going to see this year, excuse me, you're going to see more skincare. I've spent a lot of time investigating, and so we're going to move back to some of our roots and get back into more personal care. There's been some leading science into moisturization and cellular health. We've started cleaning the cells out with Stemolytic and the age pill, and making our cells run better with our H2 sticks. But there's things that we can add to make our skin healthier, more supple, get longevity out of the cells, and make us look like we're younger, and make our skin feel like it's younger. So you're going to see more of that as we go on. Let's go to the next slide. And so during the pandemic, I find this an interesting slide. A lot of people will relate with this. If you go back to June of 2019, you can see what our average back order count was. And then obviously as the pandemic and COVID and supply chain issues and companies shutting down and companies going out of business, and it became more and more difficult to get supplies. And that is one of people ask me, what are the cornerstones of Sisel, of the Mower mission? Well, one of those is obviously researching the science, but then controlling it from that aspect all the way through the stages of production, meaning that we are the purchasers, we control the quality, we control the manufacturing, the warehousing, the distribution. So from cradle to grave, we're going to control as many of those aspects as we can. That is uncommon in our industry. I cannot tell you, and maybe you realize this, that well over 95% of our competitors do not do that. They have a marketing plan looking for a unique product, and many times it's just that it's an ingredient we've never heard about, so that they can create hopefully momentum and a wave for a short period of time. And that's why 90 some odd percent of all these companies fell over time. We've had longevity because we do control these aspects, but we dedicate ourselves to the research. But as you see, as we get into 2020, back orders go up, supply chain tightens. But the nice thing about it, now you look at where we're at now. We're getting back to, I don't know if we'll ever have a true normal in society anymore after going through this, but we're back down to where we need to be to sustain momentum and to have exceptional growth. Let's go to the next. Now, what's the state of Sisel in North America? This is, I know in Australia, your products ship out of North America. And so I wanted to show you where we're at for percentages of growth over these years up until currently right now in 2022. If you went back to 2019, 2020, 2021, you can see we have maintained double-digit growth over the last 3.5 years, and not just on a linear fashion, but you can see an exponential growth. And so really going from 2020 to currently, we're seeing phenomenal growth. And this is after a pandemic, but we've been able to control so much of what we do that it has been able to get us through these tough times when back orders have gone up and actually been crippling and devastating to over 90% of the industry. We've had phenomenal growth. Let's go to the next. Now, orders per year. Now, if you look at this, you'd say, well, 2021, 2022, orders are relatively the same. What's happened? The size of the orders have increased. And that is great because what we're seeing, people are finding more transfer buying. They're realizing the value of these products. When they look at a product, let's say Super Omega, they realize, well, there's vitamin D in that. I'm spending $10 or $15 for that. Well, it has the correct amounts of the omega-3 fish oils, the EPA and the DHA. Well, I'm spending $30, $40 for that product. Oh, it's got vitamin E in it. I'm spending $10 or $15 for that product. Oh, it has crystal-free coenzyme Q10. I'm spending $20, $30 for that product. And they realize that our products usually contain 3 to 5 other types of products that people are buying. People really, during the pandemic, it gave people an awareness of nutrition and what they were doing to control their health and their lives. And they found the power of Sisel and the products that were there. And so they found that we had the right forms, but many times our products contain 4, 5, 6 different products they currently were buying. And so we've seen that the average order size has greatly increased with our distributors. Let's go to the next. Now, here what you've seen, you can see it from 2019 to 2022, we're measuring the growth. We have had double-digit growth since 2019, which is great. Going through things that I've never seen in my lifespan, and according to my kids and grandkids, I'm very old, so you can take it from me. These are the market is very reactionary. The market is changing all the time. We've seen everything from computers and social media, and the way people buy has greatly changed. Well, we've been adapted to that. Now, if you look at these numbers and you see this growth, you also see trending during different times of the year. Obviously, if I look at July, that tends to be one of the lower months, and May and January tend to be lower months too. The nice thing about that, we maintain growth even through those months. Year over year, those months get bigger for us. Let's go to the next. so Convoy of Hope, Caden, my youngest son, who, by the way, just got married last week, and I was the officiant on that and was able to marry him to his lovely new bride. A year ago, I told him, I said, Caden, we're in business for, for different reasons, but one thing that we're in business for, and that's to help other people, help them generate a business, help them have better health. But also we want to make the world a better place as a whole. Even those that are not involved with Sisel, we have been given so much in research, knowledge, manufacturing. We need to help out others. And so I said, I want you to go out and find an organization that can utilize the skills, the manufacturing, the knowledge that we have and make the world a better place. So he went out and went through dozens of these different companies, everything from how many dollars actually get into the field that make a difference and what is their mission, what markets are they in. Well, the one that we selected was Convoy of Hope. Well, they were aligned with us because they knew that food was deficient in nutritional value. And they saw the benefit of what we can do. They knew that after reviewing us, I mean, it was a dating process. They wanted to see who we were and why we wanted to be part of what they were doing. They said, the majority of these children that we help are malnutrition. And, if you look in every corner of the world, there's usually in their diet something very starchy. Maybe it's potatoes, maybe it's rice, maybe it's beans, maybe it's, what is it in Hawaii that they eat? Poi, I think. There's usually a very starchy substance, which gives us a lot of calories. But it doesn't give us a lot of nutrition. It gives us fast energy, but to be totally healthy, we need vitamins and minerals associated with that. And so they said, could you help us make up a vitamin mineral complex that could be added to these meals? Well, first answer is absolutely yes. And so they hired a nutritionist to go through the diets that they were supplying to these children. And then we wanted to make a formulation that they could add to those meals to make these very nutritious. Let's go to the next, Milo. And so we developed a product called Sisel Nutrify. And so each one of these these tubs contains 1,000 servings. And so they will mix it into, their large cooking vessels that they have that's designed to supplement and give the multivitamin mineral complex that's needed for these children in so many areas. I mean, it's really sad if you look at it. Children who die in the world, unfortunately, every day, 50% or greater of those is because of malnutrition. And a lot of times they're getting the volume, but they're not getting the nutrition. And there's a big difference with that. And so we're very happy to be part of that. Let's go to the next slide. And so, we came up with, said we're going to have a 1 million meal launch. And so we produced enough to get a million of this supplement out there into the world that, 1 million days at school, kids aren't going hungry, and there's 1 million nutritious meals out there and 1 million chances to make a difference in a kid's life. Because if you're healthy, your brain's functioning, then you can go out and do something productive and not worry about nutrition. And so this is something that we're thrilled to be a part of. Let's go to the next. And we want other people, if you want to. This isn't a requirement. This isn't even an offer that you do or you don't have to be part of. But if you do want to be part of it, you're looking for something. We make nothing. We're donating 100% of this. And so if you want to be part of it, we've made a SKU that if people want to donate $5 to this or more, they can do that. Right now, if you want to Nutrify 1,000 meals at our cost and and our production all done at our cost. $50 will do that. And so if you want to take a personal challenge with your organization or your neighbors, your friends, and say, you know what, why don't we help 10,000 kids have a nutritious meal today? $500 will do it. And so it's another opportunity to give back. It's another reason that we have the business is to make the world a better place. Let's go to the next. And so something else too, I told Caden, I said, July 15th is Dad's birthday, Tom Sr. In fact, this year I'll be out in Indiana, and I'm going to talk about all the same things I'm talking today to you about. And so, here at work, we have a Memorial Tom Sr. Day that I let people take to do what they want to do. And it was a fun thing to do for our employees. But I said, we need to do something out in the field too, throughout the world on that day to commemorate and think about Tom Sr. and what he did. He could have retired, decades ago, but he enjoyed people. He enjoyed being positive. He enjoyed helping anyone he could. Over, his lifespan, I've seen him do so much for wildlife, millions of dollars in habitat restoration, introducing species that have become extinct in certain areas. But as far as humans, he funded hundreds or millions of dollars throughout the world in orphanages in Eastern Europe and education for adoption centers and orphanages in South America and so much more. So to commemorate this, we're asking everybody within Sisel, employees, we have projects here on July 15th we're going to do to beautify the world or pick up garbage, cut weeds, help somebody in need. So we're asking everybody, if you want to be part of this, on July 15th, go out and do an act of service, small or large. And we would absolutely love to see your picture, your video of what you're doing. It could be, anything, but just something of service. Tom Sr. was the greatest mentor I ever could have had in my life. And I'll be out in Indiana doing this on that day. But I think a lot about that, and I think about the lessons he taught me. And there's nothing that makes you feel better than helping somebody else. And this Nutrify program through the Convoy of Hope does that for me. Maybe that's why I'm so focused on it. But also get out there on July 15th with the rest of the Sisel world. We're hoping to have tens of thousands of people performing some type of service for someone else to make the world a better place in memory of Dad on his birthday. Let's go to the next, Milo. So here's something that I launched. This is something I thought I would never really discuss at this level. And it's not just because Sisel Silver is the color of my hair or my mustache or my beard, but it's funny that those are probably the colors that match me best now. Silver is something that is extremely powerful. Silver is something that we put in CucumberLIME. You put it on topically. It's something I've seen family members use. I have a younger brother who was burned very badly as a child. We didn't grow up with a lot. We had, wood burning stove, kerosene stoves. And I remember he had both of the insides of his arms burned, and they used Silvadine, which is a remedy with silver that promotes healing, stops bacteria growth, wound healing. I've helped many people make products with silver. I have a good friend who's a dentist who converted a lab to see what silver would do to plaque and for dental and how much healthier. And so he sent me pictures of the wound healing and what he's seen with that when silver's applied to that. And so I thought, if I ever found a company, silver can be done right topically, but silver is very difficult if you ingest it and are exposed to it continually. Let's go to the next. This person I should say he's haunted my dreams for years just because of his color. And argyria is a condition where people consume silver and it builds up in their tissue, their skin. And silver is very difficult to eliminate from the body. And in all the cases that I've always known, people who continually ingest silver, does it kill bacteria? Does it destroy things that maybe you don't want in your body? Absolutely. But it builds up. And, if you go back, 150 years ago when they first developed photography, it was silver exposed to ultraviolet light that developed the photograph, because silver is very reactive with ultraviolet light. And so this gentleman here he's actually passed away now, but he was world famous. I think they called him Papa Smurf because of the purple condition of his skin. And so he'd go out and talk about how powerful silver was, but unfortunately, he didn't have the right form of silver to do that. Let's go to the next. And this is how many companies are to this point. They have colloidal silvers, and they all tout how effective it is, which they're probably right, but they fail to talk about what happens over long-term exposure. So now, why is silver Sisel safe? Let's go to the next. So I had a gentleman, actually a company that I've dealt with for a long time. And here a little while back, they went and patented a process to micronize colloidal silver. Well, that's exciting. And they actually make a tetraoxide form of this material. But here's the exciting part about this. This form of silver, many of you know, I went to school, the University of Utah. That's where I received my degrees in biology and chemistry. But and it's a world-renowned medical center. They went to the University of Utah, and they performed studies to show this form of silver will not accumulate and build up within your tissue, that within 48 hours, it's eliminated from your body. Now, I'm not going to be, these other companies say take colloidal silver every day. I'm not promoting that way. I think that there's a great benefit as needed, and as needed is going to be determined by you. If you had a canker sore, there's nothing better than Terminator and silver also to destroy that bacteria that stops that canker from growing. Topically, silver's incredible. And, if you want to clean something, silver works as more of a natural form of antibiotic. But I think long-term people taking it daily too, it's not, it definitely will destroy maybe a good gut bacteria that duplicates fast. Again, but I think to consume it on a daily basis is not something that I would recommend, even though this is the only, and I'll repeat again, this is the only form of silver I have ever seen that has actual pharmaceutical studies done on it to show that it is eliminated from our body after we get the great benefit of this silver. And so we are going to be producing a tincture of this that will be 22 parts per million of this. Boy, I'll tell you what, this is something to have at your home. If you get a cut, a burn, you have a wound you're trying to heal, highly effective on strep, staph, a great historical, going back thousands of years of usage on this. In fact, here in Utah, when the pioneers came out, they knew that you put a silver dollar in a wooden barrel with water, it would stay for a very long time fresh. Let's go to the next slide. And so, here's some of the historical uses here. I won't go through all of these, but everything from pasteurizing, didn't pasteurize milk with heat, but it would keep milk fresh longer because it would stop that harmful bacteria. Here's a Silvadine pharmaceutical topical, and still today it's one of the best things ever if you have a burn or a condition. In fact, my wife has been a registered nurse now for 41 years at the largest hospital here in our area, and this is the only form of silver. This company that we buy our silver from, it's the only form of silver on their formulary. And so that speaks well, too, for a hospital of this size, that they will actually have it on their formulary within the hospital. And there's no other colloidal silvers out there that they do this. Let's go to the next. We have in CucumberLIME, as many of you know, we have copper, we have silver. In fact, even copper is very beneficial for so many things. Back in Europe in the 1800s, a lot of the disease, they found that the disease was less in these villages that produced copper pots, copper cooking utensils. Also silver, they found that the wealthier class had less disease, but what they do find out is that many of them had silver goblets, silver plates, silver utensils. And so they were consuming micro amounts of this, and a lot of why they think that the disease was not in those populations, they had wealth, and wealth was, one component of wealth was a fair amount of silver and copper. Well, we have both of those in our CucumberLIME, also along with the monolaurin that you find in our Avenger, which is extremely effective on bacteria. Let's go to the next. So here's our micronized colloidal mineral product. It's been researched in an FDA cleared double-blind human safety. It leaves the body, oh, excuse me, I said 48 hours. It's actually 24 hours. And it's 10 times more powerful than any other silver product. And this is all tried and tested. Each silver particle basically can pick up these multiple electrons, and they're doing that from the bacteria. And once silver enters into bacteria, it disrupts the DNA and causes it to no longer be viable and duplicate. Let's go to the next. So now also, I'm bringing out a all natural deodorant. Now the deodorant didn't start with silver, but it became even more powerful with silver. If you're Milo, hold up your arm. Okay, there you go. Look at that armpit. And so under that armpit, there are millions of bacteria that want to grow, but they're not growing today. And I'm going to tell you why. Last year, we've had such great success with our Avenger product in stopping basic. The Amish use a lot of that and had great results with that. When I put that formulation together a few years ago, I used an ingredient called monolaurin. It's an active that's found in breast milk for one, but other natural substances because it's highly effective. I combined it with olive extract, red root, and so much more to make it highly effective against bacteria. I wanted to know what would it be like in a deodorant, because many times people are confused with antiperspirant and deodorants. They're not the same thing. And so antiperspirants, and this is where a lot of the problems come from, why people are getting away from this. Antiperspirants are usually aluminum based. Well, I think most of them all are aluminum chlorohydrate. They go into the pore of the armpit. They form a colloid. They expand, basically form a cork, so that your body cannot respirate. Well, naturally, our body wants to respirate with gases and moisture, and that's a natural process. Now, under your arm and other parts of your body, when that happens, it's moist, it's warm. Well, that's an incubator for bacteria. Now, the bacteria that usually resides in those areas releases sulfur compounds, and this is where we get the malodor. So I wanted to address that issue as naturally as possible without clogging those pores. We all know what the problem is if you are exposed and you're packing aluminum up into pores. and all the links now that we see with dementia and Alzheimer's with aluminum and all the associated problems. We wanted to get rid of all that. That's obviously not Sisel safe, but I want to destroy the bacteria that's causing the odor, allowing still the body to respirate and be very healthy. So I combined these active ingredients that we had in Avenger into a stick deodorant. We tried that. It was phenomenal. And I was going to go to the market just with that. But as I was doing the research on this micronized form of silver that will not accumulate in the body, but is 10 times more powerful than other silvers on the market, I put that in there. And wow, there is not a natural deodorant out there that even comes close to how effective this product is. And to date, we've sent out a lot of samples to a lot of people. No irritation, no tackiness, no odor, and destroys the bacteria. In fact, I would sit next to Milo in the car now. I wouldn't do that before. But since he's trying this product, I'll do it. And so we're going to bring this out too. Formulation's done. We've got the packaging here. We're waiting on the final ingredients. This, if you're living a Sisel safe life, and there's so many people out there looking for the ultimate safe, effective deodorant, this is the one. Let's go to the next. And so obviously this slide here is talking about Alzheimer's and breast cancer and so many things that are associated with aluminum and antiperspirants that are out there, you know, and people don't have really an effective way. There's some decent products out there. This is the only great product out there. So when this comes up, you're going to want to try this, and it lasts all day long, protects great, no odor, no clogged pores, no harmful ingredients, and it's free from everything else that would not make it Sisel safe, that most are that contain parabens and talc and so much more. So this is a great product, glides on easy, feels great, smells great, and it's not greasy. And so take advantage of this when we bring it out. Milo, what do we have next? So, here's the ingredients right here. Let's stop on this for just a second. So we have the naturally occurring monolaurin, which is an active found in so many different natural products. We have olive leaf extract, lotus leaf, elderberry. It kind of sounds like influence too, doesn't it? Because it really is healthy for our body, our immune system. Chaga, the most powerful antioxidant out there that we have in our coffee. And that's why we have the world's healthiest coffee, because we have the highest antioxidant right out there, red root and lime. And then powered by this unique form of micronized colloidal silver makes it for the perfect combination. I've tried, and many of you have tried the Everfresh and Subdue with my previous company, with the coriander and those type of things. They were okay to good products, but they were natural. They fit the Mower mission. This is light years ahead of all that in a stick deodorant, which is the most preferred form that people are looking for out there. So here in the next few weeks, be watching for this. You're going to love it. Let's go to the next. Now, I don't know how many of you have tried Ultramax. This is a one-time offering. So during the pandemic, we're looking at different packaging. Like, we've still got quite a few of these bottles. We moved into fire and iced tea and Sisel Sport, and those are going incredible, and people are really enjoying those products. But I had enough that I thought I'll do a run. There's probably enough Ultramax out there that over the next 3 to 4 weeks, it's going to be gone. But I said, let's run one more for Mower Mountain, one more batch, and use these bottles that we have. And this is a very energy-packed product, cordyceps and the the B vitamins, and boy, you really feel it with the niacin that it has. Many people, you'll start to see they'll actually start to become a little bit red. I know I have one daughter who's 4'11", about 95 pounds, and she drinks half, and then 2 hours later she drinks the other half. And when we stopped selling this, she was like, "Dad, you got to bring that back." But with Sisel Sport and where this is a ready-to-use product, the weight and the freight and everything, we had moved on to other technologies. But if you want to take advantage of this, now one thing, it's kind of a throwback too from a few years ago. It was $39 then. It's $39 now. It was CV was 22 then. It was 22 now. I said, let's just do it kind of a throwback. And so those people who want to buy a case of this can do that. Milo, I've got a beautiful picture of you with no PowerPoint. Are you going to talk a little bit about the new 300 PV order?
Yeah, I think that was the last slide, Tom.
Okay, great. You know what? I'm actually going to let Milo talk about this. If you ever wanted to have a distributor advocate for you, it's Milo. Many times I have to remind him, guess who signed your paycheck? And everything, I know this is an Australian call, but and he's our director and done a fabulous job with North America. And you know, he'll talk about Canadian rates and what we have to do. If it were up to Milo, even if I sold one bottle a month of something, I would never discontinue any products out there. And so, and he's always looking at, we need to be more creative. We need to find ways to make people more successful. They need to make more money here. They need to, you know, be able to do this. And so, without becoming illegal, we try and do everything that Milo would like us to do. And it's a great honor to have him here. And he's staying here tonight with me. Everybody else is out for their 3-day weekend. But Milo's here with me, and I appreciate that. But I wanted Milo to bring up a program that he's been a real proponent of for the last year or two. And finally, I guess I caved. But I caved for the right reasons, because it will encourage people. And if you think about the slide that I talked about, the average order has greatly increased. This really ties in with that. And so with that, Milo, I'm going to turn the time over to you and let you finish out this call.
Thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciate your words. And it's so satisfying, guys, to work for a company that listens to the field. And yes, you know, in sales, I kind of have to listen to you guys and what your needs are. But I work for other companies that I listen to the problem out in the field, and they need a solution. And I go back to corporate, and they just won't listen. They think, oh no, we want this. We have this plan to do this way. And it's hard to, you know, even for distributors to build that way. I'm very blessed to work for a company that actually listens to the needs of the fields. And Tom is every single time that we are on a meeting, that I come back from a trip and give my report, you know, I give them the list. You know, this is what they like. This is what they would like. You know, and obviously we don't do everything, you know, but he is very smart to make the decisions of the different sales tools that you guys need, or products, or whatever it is. So that's why we see these trends that he was showing on the growth, is because, you know, we cater to the field, and we, at the same time, that we keep the company healthy. So it's a great time to be here at Sisel. And some people were asking, is deodorant and the silver are going to Australia? And I believe the answer is yes, right, Tom, unless I'm mistaken. But I think the deodorant and silver and Ultramax can all ship to Australia as soon as they become available in a couple of weeks. So that's great news for you guys as well. And yes, we actually are launching a new program that started last Monday, and it has to do with auto ship. Okay, so we understand that auto ship is the life of your business, right? And we want to make sure that everybody that is on auto ship keeps getting the rewards for loyalty rewards, the loyalty rewards program, or the shipping voucher. A lot of people, you know, miss these vouchers because they place an order and they don't hit the target number, of the OV that they need to purchase. So we've seen this, throughout time, and we always keep saying, well, put yourself on auto ship. You can guarantee that you get the loyalty rewards and the shipping. But this time, Tom even went a step further and said, why don't we give them an extra discount for people that are on auto ship? Although it's not required to be on auto ship to get commissions with our company, you can just call in and place an order, a qualifying order, and you receive commissions. We want to go the extra mile, and he said, let's give him an extra 5% discount on anybody that puts themselves on auto ship with a 300 OV order or more. Okay, so OV means own volume. That means that you have your own auto ship. You place the order under your account, and month after month, you can customize your auto ship. You can call in. You go into your back office and change the products if you want to change it month to month. But the important thing is that you have to be on auto ship to receive that extra 5% discount on the products. Now, the 5% discount will not affect the PV. Okay, the PV is staying. It's just the discounted on the price. Okay, so you don't lose qualifications. We're not discounting the PV, and you're not going to be losing all those qualifications. So we're keeping the PV the same. We're just discounting the product at an extra 5% over wholesale price, which is amazing. And you'll still qualify. Now, it has to be over 300 OV. Okay, so and that will automatically qualify you to receive 8% on the loyalty reward program every 4 months. And at the end of the year, you'll get all your shipping costs back. And as far as I understand, in Australia, it's everything that has to do with shipping, both standard shipping and what's the other name on the priority shipping? Those also count towards your shipping voucher. So that's a really important thing that you guys can take advantage of with this program that's already in place. So make sure that you guys call your team, let them know about this, and earn an extra 5% discount on anybody that becomes part of this program. Like I say, it's not required to receive commissions. It's just to receive that extra 5% discount. So it's a great program that's launched in North America for now. And Europe is coming, and Japan is coming a little later. But since you guys in Australia, New Zealand are part of our catalog here in the U.S., you guys will receive that discount as well. So that's great news for everybody. And I'm sure that here in the U.S. they love the idea. When we announced that at Mower Mountain, everybody was just like, went crazy, because it's more savings, and at the same time you qualify for the free product every 4 months at the higher percentage rate with 8%. So we really appreciate you guys being here today. This call is being recorded, and we will be putting out this call by next week. Once again, we thank you for everything that you guys do out in the field, and you guys are lucky to have Sisel as your advocate there, and the communication that comes flows through her to Tom and the executive team, every single week is the same thing. We try to make sure that they all know exactly what your needs are, and she's done a lot to make sure that you guys, in shipping, take care of shipping and everything else. So we appreciate everything you guys do, your support, your advice, and everything that you do is recorded here on the chats. We see tons of comments and thanking Tom for the programs, for the new products. People are excited for everything. So we're super excited at the same time to close this year, and we have more things to come this year. So make sure that you keep doing what you're doing, sharing the Mower mission, and things are just going to keep getting better towards the end of this year. So once again, thank you so much for your morning down in Australia, and make sure that you guys pass this on to your teams. We're going to be closed on July 4th, which is a Monday. I think it's July 5th for you guys. So customer service is not going to be available. So in case you need to place an order, just go to your back office, and you guys can do that at the same time, or call on the following day on the 5th for us, 6th for you. Okay. So thank you so much again. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon.